Assembly Bill 1794 by Assembly Member Christina Garcia and others, an act relating to municipal water districts, declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Ms. Garcia.
Good morning, members. AB 1794 creates a new governance structure for the Central Basin Municipal Water District to address serious ethic concerns raised by a California audit report, which I requested with Speaker Rendon. The list of concerns is long. They range from a lack of leadership and technical expertise that resulted in credit downgrades to $2.75 million being spent from an inappropriately set up legal trust fund. While the Central Basin is making improvements, the history is that they revert once we're no longer paying attention. We need permanent change in governance for real long-term reform. After the audit was released, I asked the Central Basin to hire an independent facilitator to work with the purveyors so that we could have a series of stakeholder meetings to find the best solution. Our bill is the result of that input. First, we will increase the number of members on the board from 5 to 7 members by 2018 after a 2-year transition period. In order to maintain the input of the public, the majority of the members, 4 out of 7, will be elected residents of the district. To ensure that there is sufficient technical expertise, 3 of the 7 members will be elected from the 41 purveyors. Second, a technical oversight committee will be created to make sure there's additional technical expertise and oversight. In combination, these changes will provide the mix of oversight, expertise, and accountability to better protect the more than 2 million people served by the Central Basin. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. Members, this is a 2/3 vote bill. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. Ms. Garcia. Ms. Garcia moves the call. Members, we are going to take up file item 129. That's AB 1836. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1836 by Assembly Member Mainshine and others, an act relating to conservatorships.
Mr. Mainshine.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 1836 would allow a probate court to recommend an investigation of the need for an LPS conservatorship by a county when medical evidence indicates the person under probate court jurisdiction is gravely disabled by mental illness. I'd respectfully request an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Mainshine. Seeing no discussion or debate on the item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 64, no 0. The measure passes. File item 130 is AB 1883. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1883 by Assembly Member Cooley, an act relating to child sexual abuse and making an appropriation therefore.
Mr. Cooley, you may open.
Mr. Speaker, permission to read as I open on AB 1833, Child Sexual Abuse Prevention.
Without objection.
Colleagues, I bring before you today a bill dealing with child sexual abuse prevention, a pilot program to deal with programs that would support helping to curb the tide of child sexual abuse prevention. I have a press release that was written by me on September 24th, 1982. This describes the predecessor of our current bill, our current programs deal with sexual abuse. Assemblyman Pappan's proposed $10 million commitment to child abuse and neglect prevention services was signed into law by Governor Brown on Thursday, September 23rd, 1982. At a time of general fiscal restraint, it is gratifying to see the commitment of the legislature and Governor Brown to do something for abused children now, rather than after their lives have been irreparably harmed, Assemblyman Pappan stated, by the hand of Ken Cooley. AB 1733, which had the unanimous support of both houses of the legislature, will provide funds for child abuse and neglect prevention programs throughout the state. The rising tide of child abuse in California and the nation makes this problem a national tragedy, Assemblyman Pappan remarked. And since recent studies reveal a high correlation between abuse as a child and criminal activity as an adult, committing these monies to this purpose today can yield significant savings tomorrow. Colleagues, this bill does not deal with child abuse prevention. It deals with the more horrific concept of child sex abuse prevention. That bill, signed into law in 1982, has led to a robust and effective statewide system for dealing with child abuse prevention. This bill takes that same idea, a pilot in 3 counties which have received funding to deal with sexual abuse, to start to innovate programs to deal with child sex abuse prevention. This is a very important bill dealing with a very important problem affecting the lives of children, but which casts a long shadow over their lives and therefore is important to restrain cost of incarceration, other services in the decades ahead. I request an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Cooley. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. This too is a 54-vote bill. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Mr. Cooley moves a call. Members, we are going to move back to file item 125 by Dr. Quirk. This is AB 1957. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1957 by Assemblymember Quirk, an act relating to public records.
Dr. Quirk, you may open.
Thank you, Speaker and members. I'd like to thank the chair and committee staff for their work on this bill. Current law allows law enforcement to release body-worn camera footage. However, law enforcement cites under investigation and the footage is never released. AB 1957 establishes a statewide policy to govern the release of body-worn camera footage by addressing 4 major points. It allows local government bodies to view the body-worn camera footage in closed session. It allows a judge, if there is an official prosecution, to decide on the release protocol of the footage. If prosecution is not pursued, then footage will be released after 60 days. Footage then relates to crimes of domestic violence, crimes that include minors and statements of witnesses at the scene of a crime will not be released for public viewing. In 2014, a teenager was shot 16 times. Footage of this event, which resulted in the prosecution of the officer and firing of the police chief, was not released until November 2015, 13 months later. If this footage had never been released, the firing of the police chief and the prosecution of the officer would never have occurred. To not release this is a great insult to the idea that body camera footage increases trust in the police departments. This past weekend in Greensboro, North Carolina, footage was released regarding a shooting incident that happened in 2014. Members, that's 2 years of family had to wonder what really had happened to their family member. In Greensboro, it showed that, in fact, the police officer had acted completely appropriately. Yet policies which say we're not going to release anything prevented that police officer from getting his public exoneration. We cannot let what happened in Chicago and Greensboro happen here in California. Early this year, I heard a listening tour with law enforcement, DAs, and privacy groups to find the best solution for all parties involved. Though discussions were productive, there was no feedback from the concerned parties. I look forward to continue working with concerned groups as the bill moves forward. Thank you, and I ask you for your aye vote.
Thank you, Dr. Quirk. Seeing no discussion or debate on the item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Dr. Quirk moves call. Members, we are moving to file item 131. That's AB 2015 by Mr. McCarty. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2015 by Assembly Member McCarty, an act relating to public social services.
Mr. McCarty.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In 2011, we had a high-profile realignment of our criminal justice system. We had a somewhat sleepy realignment of our child welfare system. This bill helps ensure that we have more data and information to ensure that our system works for all Californians and we see less tragedies with kids in the child welfare system. I ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McCarty. Seeing no discussion or debate on the item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 65, no 0. Measure passes. File item 132. That's AB 2027. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2027 by Assembly Member Quirk, an act relating to victims of crime.
Dr. Quirk, you may open.
Thank you, Speaker and members. AB 2027 requires that if a victim of human trafficking has been cooperative, a certifying agency must certify victim cooperation on the applicable form so that a victim of human trafficking may apply for a T visa to temporarily live and work in the United States. A cooperative victim by definition means to the investigation or prosecution of that qualifying criminal activity if the victim has not refused or failed to provide information and assistance reasonably requested by law enforcement. AB 2027 will increase public safety by encouraging these survivors to report the crimes that were unjustly subjected to. In October, the Assembly Public Safety Committee held a human trafficking informational hearing, and several individuals brought to our attention the lack of focusing on trafficking for labor. In addition to the harm that this crime causes its victims, secondary consequences of human trafficking can severely affect our own communities. The impact of human trafficking on California communities includes child exploitation, public health problems, and depressed wages. Trafficking is an insult to human dignity and an assault on freedom. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 60, no 0. Measure passes. File item 133, AB 2696. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2696 by Assembly Member Beth Gaines, an act relating to diabetes.
Ms. Gaines, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And members, AB 2696 would require the Department of Public Health to create and submit to the state of California a diabetes action plan. The goal of the plan is to address the escalating $37 billion a year impact that diabetes has on our state. AB 2696 will use evidence-based strategies aimed at prevention and awareness at costly diabetes-related complications. The plan will also detail the financial impact on the state, as well as provide policy guidance to the legislature aimed at preventing diabetes in California. AB 2696 has received unanimous bipartisan support. I respectfully request an aye vote.
Thank you, Ms. Gaines. Seeing no discussion or debate on the item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 67, no 0. Measure passes. File item 134 is AJR 35. Clerk will read.
Assembly Joint Resolution 35 by Assembly Member Brown and others relative to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
Ms. Brown on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AJR 35 urges the federal government to change federal policy in order to allow California to have the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program for the most vulnerable in our state. This is a program that changed in 1974. Our recipients get $10 extra in their check if they don't get food stamps. Food stamps, however, are much more. And we have too many people who are food insecure. This is a bipartisan measure, and I'm hoping that everyone will join me so that our seniors and most vulnerable will be able to at least get food stamps.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Seeing no discussion or debate on the resolution, Ms. Brown, would you like co-authors on the resolution?
That would be excellent. Anyone who wants to co-author, I welcome that.
Okay.
And I ask for your aye vote.
First roll will be open for co-authors. Members, clerk will open the roll. Members, this is for co-authors. Co-authors on the resolution. This is co-authors. Clerk will close the roll. There are 71 co-authors added. Joint resolution requires a roll call vote. Clerk will open the roll. All members vote who wish to vote. All members vote who wish to vote. All members vote who wish to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 70, no 0. The resolution is adopted. File item 135 is AB 1567. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1567 by Assemblymember Campos and Act relating to after-school programs.
Ms. Campos.
Mr. Speaker and members, I present to you AB 1567, a bill that will increase access to after-school programs for our state's most vulnerable youth. Children who are homeless or in deep poverty are less likely to be able to participate in after-school programs because they can't even afford the smallest fee that is required for the registration. This bill will address this issue by waiving the fee and giving priority access to our youth who are most vulnerable for after-school programs. Members, our state offers some of the great and best after-school programs. So it is important that we allow and give our most vulnerable youth the opportunity to be successful, and this happens by us investing in them. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Ms. Campos. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 69, no 0. Measure passes. File item 136, AB 1577 by Dr. Eggman. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1577 by Assemblymember Eggman and others and Act relating to food banks.
Dr. Eggman, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 1577 is a bill that allows processors in agriculture to make it easier to donate to food banks. This will help food banks, will help the agriculture community, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Dr. Eggman. Ms. Kim, you are recognized.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise in support of AB 1577. With a median home price of over $700,000, many in Orange County, which is the county that I represent, are housing insecure and spend half their income on housing costs. And after paying rent or a mortgage, some have precious little left over and find themselves at the doors of food banks. Food banks in my district have great partnerships with grocery stores, farmers, and businesses to acquire surplus food. But what they never have enough of is meat, dairy, rice, fresh vegetables, and eggs. This tax credit will help stock our shelves with healthy, nutritious food for our senior citizens, senior centers, after-school programs, shelters, and church pantries. So I ask my members to be thoughtful of that and ask for I vote.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. Seeing no additional discussion or debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 70, no 0. Measure passes. File item 137, AB 1644. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1644 by Assemblymember Bonta and others, and act relating to mental health.
Mr. Bonta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. AB 1644 restores the Early Mental Health Initiative and puts mental health professionals in schools to identify, prevent, and heal the impacts of violence and trauma on children and youth. The earlier we address adverse childhood experiences, the better chance we give our children of staying in school and becoming successful adults. For this reason, this bill focuses on transitional kindergarten and preschool all the way through third grade. I'm proud that the bill has bipartisan support and has a very large coalition of supporters, including Attorney General Kamala Harris and Children Now. Colleagues, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Bonta. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 70, no 0. Measure passes. File item 138. AB 1649. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1649 by Assemblymember Salas and others, and act relating to water storage.
Mr. Salas, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 1649 requires the Department of Water Resources to develop a state water policy that gives priority to the formation of joint powers authorities. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Salas. Seeing no discussion or debate on the item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 61, noes 3. The measure passes.